Chapter 1. The Girl in the Shadows. The first thing I hear is her voice, cold, sharp, cruel. "Lyra, you missed a spot." Her tone slices through the quiet like a blade, and I flinch even though I'm already on my knees, scrubbing the marble floor until my hands ache. The water is gray now, my reflection warped by soap and exhaustion. Celine stands above me, her silk gown brushing against my arm as if mocking me. She smells like roses and privilege. I smell like ash. I look up just long enough to see her smirk before lowering my gaze again. "Yes, Celine." My voice is barely more than a whisper. She sighs, the sound dripping with satisfaction. "Mother says the Alpha of Red River will be here for dinner tonight. Try not to embarrass us by existing." I bite my tongue. It's easier that way. Words have always been my enemies here. Every time I speak, Seraphine finds a way to twist them, to turn them into proof that I'm ungrateful, cursed, or, her favorite, dangerous. As if my mother's death was something I asked for. But then again, that's the story they tell everyone. That the night she died, the moon took something pure and left something wicked in its place. Me. Still, even as I scrub until my fingers blister, I can feel her memory in the air. My mother's scent, wild jasmine and moonlight, lingers faintly in this house. And sometimes, when no one's looking, I close my eyes and breathe it in like prayer. Later that night, I stand by the kitchen window, the air cool against my face. Outside, the moon hangs low, silver and watchful. I wonder if she sees me, if she knows how small I've become. Seraphine's voice echoes from the dining hall. "Lyra! More wine!" I rush in, careful not to meet her eyes. Her beauty is venomous, polished to perfection, but hollow inside. Celine sits beside her, laughing too loudly at something the visiting Alpha says. I pour the wine, steady hands masking the way my wolf trembles beneath my skin. Then Seraphine does what she always does. She waits until the laughter fades, then asks sweetly, "Do you ever think about your mother, Lyra?" The Alpha looks between us, unsure where this is going. I nod. "Every day." Her lips curve into a cruel smile. "How touching. You must tell me. Does guilt keep you company at night, or has it abandoned you too?" The room goes silent. I can feel every heartbeat, every breath. My throat tightens. "I didn't kill her," I whisper. Celine scoffs. "Of course you didn't. She just conveniently fell down the ravine while you were the only one with her." "Enough," the Alpha mutters awkwardly, trying to diffuse the tension, but Seraphine waves him off. "No, it's important she remembers her place. Some stains never wash away." The wine bottle shakes in my hand. I set it down before I can drop it, before my wolf does something I'll regret. "Of course, Lady Seraphine," I murmur. "I remember." She leans back, satisfied, and returns to her meal. And I, as always, become invisible again. By the time the dishes are done, my back burns and my palms sting. Still, I find a strange peace in the silence that follows, the kind that comes only after surviving another storm. As I walk to my room, I pause by the hallway mirror. The candlelight catches my face, pale, tired, with eyes too bright for someone so small. My reflection looks fragile, but deep down, something inside me, something I can't name, still glows. Maybe it's defiance, maybe it's hope, or maybe it's the same light that lived in my mother's eyes before everything fell apart. Either way, I whisper to that girl in the mirror, "You're still here." And that has to count for something. Chapter 2. Ashes and Whispers. The next morning, gossip spreads through the pack house faster than wildfire. The servants whisper about it while polishing silver, their voices rising and falling like waves. "The Alpha King himself will attend the Bloodmoon ball," one says, excitement lacing her tone. Another sighs dreamily. "Imagine being chosen as his mate." They say his eyes burn gold under moonlight. I keep my head down, washing the linens, pretending not to listen. But the words linger like a spark I can't smother. "The king's coming?" I ask finally, my voice softer than the wind. They exchange looks. "Oh, Lyra, he's not coming for the likes of us." They're right. Omegas like me don't get invited to royal balls. We clean up after them. Still, I can't help it. The image takes root in my mind. A grand hall, silver banners, a crown gleaming beneath the Bloodmoon. Celine bursts in then, twirling in a crimson gown she's clearly been saving for this announcement. "Did you hear?" she squeals. "The king is seeking his Luna. Mother says it's fate." Her eyes flick toward me, sharp and mocking. "Of course not your fate, dear sister. Yours ended with your mother's fall." The others laugh. I force a smile, though my heart twists. "That may be," I say quietly, "but fate has a strange way of proving people wrong." Her smile falters for half a breath before she laughs again, brushing past me. "Keep dreaming, Lyra. Dreams are all you'll ever have." By afternoon, the mansion hums with preparation. Servants rush through the halls, polishing floors and hanging silk banners. Celine and Seraphine argue over fabrics and jewelry, their voices rising like clashing bells. I spend hours scrubbing the courtyard stones, though my mind drifts elsewhere, toward that impossible thought of what it might feel like to be seen. Not as the servant, not as the sinner. Just me. But then I remember who I am. Or rather, who they say I am. Still, as the sun dips below the trees, I can't stop the small flicker of defiance in my chest. Maybe it's foolish. Maybe it's dangerous. But it's mine. Because of that, I whisper to the evening air, if the moon ever looks my way again, I'll be ready. Chapter 3, Echoes of the Past. When the bells toll for sunset, I slip away, past the garden, through the woods, to where the air smells like rain and lilacs. My feet find the path without thinking. The earth remembers me, even if no one else does. And soon I reach it, my mother's shrine. It's small, half-collapsed, hidden beneath a willow that's older than time. The stone wolf she carved still stands guard, though moss covers its face. I kneel beside it, brushing the dust away. "Hi, Mama," I whisper. "It's been a while." The wind stirs, soft and familiar. For a heartbeat, I swear it carries her scent. Wild jasmine, moonlight, and something warm. "I know I'm not supposed to dream," I say. "But I do. I dream of leaving this place, of seeing something more than this house, these walls, their cruelty." A tear slips down my cheek before I can stop it. "I wish you were here," I murmur. "You'd know what to do. You always did." The forest is silent for a long moment. Then, somewhere far off, a wolf howls, deep, strong, ancient. It sends a shiver down my spine. Maybe it's just the wind, or maybe it's something else entirely. Either way, my heart stirs, and as the blood moon rises slowly over the trees, I make a promise, to her, to myself, to the silent stars above. One day, they'll see me, I whisper, not as the girl who hides in shadows, but as someone worth looking at. The air hums softly, almost like an answer. I close my eyes, clutch the small pendant she left me, and let the moonlight wash over my skin. Because deep down, beneath the pain and the whispers, something inside me knows. This story isn't over. Not yet. And when it truly begins, the whole realm will remember my name. Chapter 4. The Forbidden Ball. The letter arrives before dawn. I know because I hear the sharp knock at the front door, followed by the faint rustle of paper. Then Seraphine's delighted gasp echoes through the house like a chime of power. "The royal seal," she whispers. "It's from the palace." I stand at the foot of the stairs, clutching my broom like it's the only thing keeping me upright. Celine appears beside her mother, eyes wide, golden hair tumbling over her nightrobe. "What does it say?" she asks breathlessly. Seraphine breaks the wax seal and unfolds the parchment with trembling fingers. A smile curves across her lips, the kind that promises both fortune and cruelty. "It's an invitation to the Bloodmoon ball," she says, her tone reverent. "The king himself will attend." Celine gasps and grabs her hand. "For me?" "Who else?" Seraphine laughs softly. "You were born for this moment, my darling." My heart sinks, though I don't know why. It's not as if I ever expected otherwise. Seraphine turns her gaze toward me then, her voice turning cold. "You'll stay here, Lyra. The house must be spotless when we return. Do not think to ask." "I wasn't going to," I say quietly. Her eyes narrow. "Good. You'd only embarrass us. The king deserves beauty, not tragedy." Celine smirks at me, stepping closer. "Maybe I'll tell him about you. The little servant girl who pretends she still belongs to this family." I meet her gaze for once. "Maybe he'd pity you instead." Her smirk falters, just slightly. Seraphine snaps her fingers. "Celine, go prepare your fitting. And you—" She turns to me. "The floors had better shine like mirrors by the time we return." I nod, though something inside me begins to twist. A quiet rebellion I can't name yet. Hours later, while they fuss over gowns and jewelry, I scrub until my knees ache. The scent of lavender polish fills the air, sharp and dizzying. My reflection flickers in the wet marble beneath me. Small, tired, but burning quietly inside. Because of that, I whisper to the silence. If fate wants to mock me tonight, I'll let it. But deep down, I feel it. Something's shifting. That evening, when Seraphine and Celine sweep down the staircase in gowns dripping with silver and pride, the house feels emptier somehow. The carriage wheels creak outside, horses stamping impatiently. Celine pauses in the doorway, tossing me a final sneer. "Don't wait up, sister. You'll just wake the rats." "Have fun," I murmur. "I'm sure they'll love your company." She doesn't hear me, or pretends not to. As the door closes and silence settles, I let out a breath I didn't know I was holding. For once, there's no one to command, no one to wound. Just me, the dust, and the whisper of a moon rising somewhere far away. I should feel peace. Instead, I feel something else. Restless. Like the air itself is waiting. Chapter 5. The Gown of Hope. The mansion sleeps. And yet I can't. I wander through the quiet halls, my bare feet soft against the marble. Moonlight spills through the high windows, silver and gentle, touching everything it finds, except me. I stop in the storage room where old fabrics are kept, rolls of silk and velvet tower like forgotten dreams. My fingers brush over the scraps, tracing threads that used to belong to someone else's life. That's when I hear it, a soft knock on the door. "Lyra?" It's Mira, one of the younger servants. Her voice trembles as she slips inside with a candle. Behind her are two more girls, Anya and Ruth. They exchange nervous glances before Mira whispers, "We thought maybe you'd like to go. To the ball." I blink at them. "You're joking?" Ruth shakes her head. "No. We've seen how they treat you. You deserve one night where you're not invisible." Anya holds up a bundle of fabric. "We found these scraps from Celine's old dresses. They're torn, but you could make something." My throat tightens. They'll find out. "Not if we help," Mira insists. "The carriage will pass the East Road at dusk tomorrow. You could follow the crowd. No one will notice one more shadow." I stare at the fabric in her hands. Pale blue silk, frayed but beautiful beneath the candlelight. Something warm unfurls inside me. Hope, fragile but alive. So we begin. All night we work by candlelight, stitching quietly, our laughter soft but real. The room smells like wax and dust and the faint sweetness of lavender oil. Mira hums as she sews. Ruth threads needles with shaking fingers. And me, I stitch like my soul depends on it. Every seam feels like defiance, every thread a whisper to the moon. See me. When the first light of dawn touches the windows, we step back to look at it. The gown is far from perfect, patched, uneven, but glowing faintly in the early light. It's beautiful, Mira breathes. No, I whisper. It's freedom. I run my fingers across the fabric. It feels warm, alive almost, like it's waiting for something too. Anya wipes her eyes. If the king sees you, he won't forget you. I laugh softly. I'm not going for him. Then why? I look out the window where dawn kisses the trees. Because I want to remember what it feels like to be alive. Chapter 6. A Step into Destiny. By sunset, the world holds its breath. The blood moon rises like fire over the horizon, painting the forest in crimson and gold. My gown shimmers faintly as I step into the night, the fabric catching every flicker of light like water. The wind tugs at my hair, whispering warnings I don't want to hear. My wolf stirs beneath my skin, uneasy yet alert. You can still turn back, I whisper to myself. But my feet keep moving. Soon after, I reach the crossroads, the place where the road splits, one path back to the mansion, one toward the king's estate. The night hums with life. Carriages pass, laughter and music drifting through the trees. I hide behind a thicket, watching. No one notices me. No one ever does. And yet, something in the air shifts. A carriage passes, its banners black and silver, the royal crest of the Nightfang Kingdom. My pulse stutters. The king's entourage. Before I can think, my feet move, one step, then another, until I'm following the road, my heart pounding in rhythm with the distant drums. The estate rises before me like a dream carved in moonlight. Lanterns glow, casting golden halos over marble arches. Music spills from within, violins, laughter, the sound of power. I stop at the gate. Maybe it's madness, maybe it's fate. But as the blood moon blazes overhead, I whisper, if destiny wants me, it'll have to find me standing. And just like that, I walk through. The guards barely glance at me, too distracted by the parade of nobles in jeweled gowns. Inside, the scent of wine and pine fills the air. My breath catches. The ballroom shimmers like another world. Crystal chandeliers drip with light. Every wall gleams with silver engravings. I've never seen anything so beautiful, or so dangerous. I take one trembling step forward, then another, until I stand at the edge of the crowd, hidden in plain sight. My pulse thrums in my ears. I should feel fear. I should feel small. But I don't, because somewhere deep inside me, a strange certainty hums. Something in this room belongs to me. And as I lift my eyes toward the throne across the ballroom, where a dark figure sits, cloaked in power, the Alpha King's gaze collides with mine. Golden, fierce, unmistakable. My breath stops, the world narrows, the music fades, and just like that, everything changes. Chapter 7. The Hall of Gold. The moment I step through the arched doors, the world explodes into light. Gold. Everywhere. It drips from chandeliers, glitters across marble floors, dances in the eyes of nobles dressed like constellations come to life. Music swirls through the air, violins, harps, the deep thrumming beat of drums that make the floor tremble beneath my feet. For a moment, I forget to breathe. The blood moon's crimson glow filters through stained glass windows, painting everything in shades of fire and magic. Servants glide by with trays of wine. Alphas from every known pack gather in clusters, their laughter sharp, their words laced with competition and pride. And me? I am a shadow slipping through their brilliance, unseen but burning all the same. My hands tremble as I touch the edge of my gown, the one sewn from scraps, made by kindness and hope. Somehow, it fits here. The silk catches the light, glowing faintly, almost as if the moon itself favors me tonight. "Careful," someone mutters as I pass, brushing my shoulder. "You'll draw the wrong kind of attention." Maybe that's exactly what I want. Across the hall, I see Celine. She's impossible to miss, her gown a cascade of silver that shimmers with every movement. Her laughter is loud, practiced, and cruelly sweet. Seraphine stands nearby, whispering into the ear of another Luna, their eyes scanning the room like hunters. My stomach tightens. They're here for power. I'm here for air. Still, I can't stop watching them, the way they glide as if the floor exists only to be graced by their steps. For years I lived in their shadows, scrubbing, serving, surviving, but tonight, under this blood moon, I feel something else stirring inside me. Not envy, not even anger, something deeper. Freedom, maybe, or destiny. I don't know, but the music rises, and for the first time in my life, I let myself move. I walk through the golden hall, past alphas with gleaming eyes, past nobles whose scents are layered in dominance and desire. The air hums with power, but beneath it all, I feel another rhythm, something pulling me forward, something ancient, alive, as if the moon itself is whispering, "Keep going." And so I do. Chapter 8. The first glance. The moment our eyes meet, everything stops. It's strange how silence can roar, the music fades, the laughter dulls, and all I can hear is the wild beating of my heart as my gaze locks onto his. The Alpha King, Kael Draxon. The name alone feels heavy, whispered in every corner of the kingdom, but nothing prepares me for the reality of him. He sits upon the raised dais, half-shadowed by the blood moon's glow. His black coat gleams like armor, gold embroidery tracing symbols I don't recognize. His eyes, gods, his eyes, are molten gold, alive with an untamed light that makes my wolf stir beneath my skin. He looks bored, detached, until now. When his gaze finds me, something in him changes. It's subtle, a tension, a narrowing of focus, the faintest tilt of his head. And then it happens. The bond. It's not visible, but I feel it, like fire blooming beneath my ribs, a pulse that doesn't belong to me. The air thickens, the scent of pine and smoke threading through my senses. My wolf presses forward, recognizing what my mind cannot yet accept. The king rises slightly, his gaze never leaving mine. I freeze. No one should look at me like that, like I'm the only thing that exists. A whisper ripples through the crowd. He's looking at someone. But I can't look away. Every instinct screams to run, yet something stronger holds me in place. His voice, deep, smooth, dangerous, cuts through the hum of music. "You." The word isn't spoken to me directly, but I feel it, like a command written in my bones. My breath catches. And just like that, I know. Whatever this night is, it will not end the way anyone expects. The king turns to speak to his beta, a tall, sharp-eyed man with dark hair. They exchange words too low to catch, but Kael's gaze flickers back to me again before he resumes his stoic mask. The music starts anew, but the rhythm feels off, as if the entire hall now beats to the echo of his stare. I try to step away, to melt back into the crowd, but the bond thrums through my veins like lightning, and for the first time in years, I don't feel invisible, I feel seen. Chapter 9. The Seeds of Envy. If looks could kill, I'd be ashes by now. Celine's gaze finds me from across the room, her smile faltering mid-laugh as she follows the line of the king's eyes, to me. Her expression curdles into disbelief, then fury. Seraphine notices too. Her fan freezes mid-motion. What's wrong? Celine's lips barely move. He's looking at her. Who? Celine's chin lifts, her jaw trembling. Lyra. For a moment, Seraphine doesn't respond. Then quietly. That's impossible. But it isn't. Because even as I pretend not to notice, I feel it. Kale's gaze following me wherever I move, like a storm held barely at bay. I turn away, my pulse racing. The dance begins, rows of nobles spinning beneath chandeliers, laughter echoing like crystal shattering in the air. Celine moves to the center, determined, radiant, every motion a plea for attention. She's beautiful, yes, but her beauty is practiced, polished. Mine is survival. Still, when the crowd parts and I accidentally step into the open, I feel her hatred burn across the floor. Her eyes find mine, venomous and shining. She whispers something to her partner, and they switch steps, spinning closer, until the edge of her gown brushes mine. "Enjoying the view, sister?" she murmurs, her smile razor-sharp. "I didn't mean to intrude," I whisper back. "Oh, but you did." Her voice drops lower, eyes glinting. "And trust me, I won't let you steal what's mine." "Yours?" "The Alpha King." I almost laugh. "You can't steal what isn't claimed." Her smile falters for the briefest second, and I know I've hit something deep. But then she leans closer, breath hot against my ear. "Then maybe I'll just destroy you first." The music swells again, masking her words. The dancers spin away, but her promise lingers like poison in the air. When I glance back toward the dais, Kale is still watching me, unmoving, unblinking, as if he heard every word. And for the first time, I see it. Not just curiosity in his eyes, but something fierce, protective, and primal. Something that shouldn't exist yet. Something that terrifies me. By the time the last note fades, I can barely breathe. I slip toward the balcony, desperate for air, the night cool and sharp against my burning skin. The Bloodmoon hangs heavy above, crimson and endless. I press a hand to my chest, feeling the strange rhythm beneath it, mine and not mine. And somewhere behind me, through the glass doors and golden light, I hear a low growl. Soft, possessive, not human. I turn, but the space where the king once stood is empty, and I know, without needing to see him, that this night has already bound us both to something neither of us understands. Chapter 10. The Dance of Deceit. The air tastes like wine and danger. Music swells again, bright and dizzying, and I find myself drifting along the edge of the ballroom, pretending I belong to this world of gold and perfume. My pulse thrums beneath my skin, wild and uneven as the Alpha King's scent lingers somewhere behind me. Pine, smoke, and something darker that pulls at my chest. Before I can make sense of the pull, a familiar voice cuts through the melody. "Lyra!" Celine. Her tone drips with false warmth, sugar laced with venom. She glides toward me through the crowd, silver skirts whispering against the marble, a practiced smile fixed on her face. "There you are," she says sweetly, looping her arm through mine as though we're dearest sisters. "I've been looking all over for you." My instinct screams run, but her grip tightens. "You shouldn't be here," she continues softly, voice low enough only for me. "But since you've already made the mistake, at least dance with me. Let's give them something to remember." I frown. "Celine, Please," she interrupts, her smile widening for the watching crowd. "It would look rude to refuse your own sister." The musicians change tempo. A waltz begins, slow, grand, merciless. Celine pulls me forward, her every step rehearsed, her every word a knife hidden behind honey. As the crowd parts for us, I feel eyes on me, hundreds of them. The nobles whisper, fans fluttering like wings. I catch fragments of their words. Who is she? A servant? She's bold to dance uninvited. I want to disappear, but Celine tightens her hold and spins me faster. "Smile," she whispers. "You wouldn't want them to see how terrified you are." I grit my teeth, forcing my lips into something resembling grace. "What are you doing?" I murmur. "Enjoying the moment," she says. "Before you ruin it." Her eyes flick toward the dais. The king is watching. His gaze burns like a second sun, steady, unreadable, impossible to ignore. Seems His Majesty finds you. Interesting, Celine says, her tone brittle. I suppose he's never met a maid who forgot her place. I didn't come here for him, I whisper. She laughs, sharp and cruel. Oh, Lyra, you never come for anything. You just exist, a shadow pretending to be light. Her words sink deep, but I don't answer, because even through her cruelty, I can feel it. Kale's gaze still on me, heavy, protective, curious, and that, I think, is what truly terrifies her. Moments later, the dance ends. Polite applause ripples through the hall, but Celine doesn't let go of my hand. Her smile glitters like shattered glass. You know, she murmurs, for someone so good at hiding, you really do crave attention. I never asked for it. Of course not. You just steal it. Before I can reply, she leans closer, her breath brushing my ear. Let's make sure they all see what kind of girl you really are. Her voice chills me to the bone, and even though the music rises again, the world suddenly feels too quiet. Chapter 11. The dress torn apart. It happens so fast I don't even have time to breathe. One moment Celine is smiling beside me, turning gracefully to address the nearest circle of nobles. The next, she gasps loudly, dramatically, and grabs my arm. Wait, she cries, loud enough for the hall to hear. Isn't that Mother's fabric? Dozens of heads turn. What? I whisper. She points to my gown, eyes wide with mock horror. This dress, it's made from my old gowns. You stole them, didn't you? Laughter and murmurs ripple through the crowd like wildfire. No, I stammer, heat flooding my cheeks. They were scraps, leftovers. But she doesn't let me finish. Her voice sharpens, slicing through the music. Don't lie, Lyra. First you took Mother's kindness, then her life, and now you steal what isn't yours again? The words hit harder than claws. A stunned silence follows. Then someone whispers, "The killer's daughter." Another voice. "The cursed Omega." My chest constricts. I shake my head, trembling. That's not true. Celine smirks, pretending to cry as she steps closer. Everyone knows the story. Poor Mother tried to save her from the ravine, and she pushed her instead. That's a lie! She seizes the moment. Her hand flashes out, grabbing the thin seam at my shoulder, and with a single vicious tug, the fabric tears. Gasps fill the air. The sound echoes in my skull. The dress falls apart in shreds of silk and thread, bearing my shoulders, my shame, my trembling hands as I clutch the ruined fabric to my chest. The nobles murmur. Some laugh. Others look away. No one helps. Celine tilts her head, smiling through feigned pity. Look at her, the girl who killed her mother, sneaking into a royal ball as if she belongs here. Laughter erupts, cruel and thunderous. My breath comes in short, jagged bursts. The walls spin. I can taste salt and humiliation on my tongue. Please, stop, I whisper, voice breaking. But they don't stop. Someone tosses wine at my feet. It splashes across the marble, staining the tattered silk red. Another voice jeers. Maybe the king wanted entertainment. Tears blur my vision. I want to run, but my legs won't move. I can only stand there, half covered, trembling, drowning in the sound of their laughter. And through it all, Celine smiles, because she knows she's won. Chapter 12. The silence before the growl time fractures. For a heartbeat, there is only sound, laughter, whispers, the rustle of silks. Then, silence. It falls so suddenly, so completely, it steals the air from my lungs. Every head turns toward the dais. The Alpha King is standing. His chair scrapes back against marble with a low, ominous sound. His golden eyes blaze beneath the Bloodmoon's light. No longer calm, no longer patient. A growl rolls from his chest, deep, feral, and ancient. the kind that makes the air itself tremble. And just like that, every voice dies. Even Celine freezes, her smile fading. The king descends the steps, one slow, deliberate stride at a time. The crowd parts for him as though the ground itself fears to be in his way. My heart stutters. His aura hits me before his voice does. Raw power, magnetic and terrifying. The scent of pine and smoke wraps around me, grounding me even as my knees weaken. He stops in front of me, the entire hall holds its breath. Who touched her? The question is soft, but deadly. No one answers. He turns his head, scanning the crowd. I said... His voice drops lower, darker. Who touched her? Celine swallows hard, the color draining from her face. But he doesn't look at her. His gaze finds mine instead. For a moment, it's just us, the broken girl and the king. He takes off his cloak without a word and drapes it around my shoulders. The fabric is heavy, warm, smelling of cedar and smoke. Gasps ripple through the hall. I clutch it to my chest, tears blurring my vision. Why would you? Because no one, he says softly, voice like thunder wrapped in velvet, will ever shame what is mine. My breath catches. Yours? His eyes flash gold. Fate decides. I only obey. The words hang in the air, heavy as prophecy. And though I don't yet understand them, I feel them, deep, eternal, true. The king turns to the crowd, his voice rises, echoing through marble and moonlight. Let every wolf here remember this night. You mocked what the moon has chosen, and under her gaze, shame returns to those who cast it. No one moves. No one dares breathe. The silence that follows is absolute. And in that silence, something inside me breaks and begins to bloom. Because humiliation brought me to my knees, but destiny just taught me how to rise. Chapter 13, The Throne Awakens. The world tilts, and then everything stops moving. The king stands at the foot of the dais, golden eyes glowing like twin suns burning through the storm of whispers. His aura spills across the hall, thick, electric, suffocating. No one dares to breathe. Even the chandeliers tremble above us, their crystals quivering under the weight of his fury. I can feel his power against my skin. It presses down like thunder, forcing every wolf to bow instinctively. My wolf inside me trembles, not in fear, but in recognition. Something deep within me whispers his name like a prayer. Kale, the Alpha King of Nightfang, the ruler of all packs beneath the Bloodmoon. And right now, he looks ready to destroy anyone who so much as blinks wrong. He surveys the hall, voice cold as steel. In my presence, he says slowly, a wolf was humiliated, stripped, laughed at. The silence roars louder than any sound. His gaze sweeps across the nobles, pausing on Kelaine, her face drained, her hands shaking. Seraphine hides behind a mask of dignity that's cracking by the second. You forget, Kale continues, that the moon's light does not shine on cruelty. It reveals it. His words strike like lightning. Even so, he's not shouting. He doesn't need to. His calm is more dangerous than rage. Every word vibrates with the command of someone who is killed for less. I clutch his cloak tighter around me, trying to shrink from the eyes boring into my back. My heart pounds, my breath shallow, but part of me feels something unfamiliar. Safety. Because of him. Kale looks down at me briefly, and the storm in his gaze softens. You, he says quietly. Look up. I hesitate. Look at me. My chin lifts before I can stop it. His expression is unreadable, half fury, half something gentler that makes my chest ache. Good, he murmurs. Don't ever bow to those beneath you again. My breath catches. Beneath me? He turns from me to the crowd. This hall, he declares, has forgotten its honor, so I will remind it what respect looks like. And with that, the King of Wolves steps down from his throne. Chapter 14, The Cloak of Honor. The sound of his boots against the marble echoes like a heartbeat. Each step feels deliberate, sacred, like a ceremony no one dares interrupt. When he reaches me, he removes his royal cloak. The fabric slides from his shoulders with a soft whisper, heavy with gold embroidery and the scent of power. Without a word, he drapes it over me again, this time with his own hands. The crowd gasps. The weight of it grounds me, warm and steady. It's more than just fabric. It's protection, dignity, a silent claim. Kyle's voice drops low, meant for me alone. No one will look at you with shame again. My voice trembles. Why are you doing this? His gaze flickers to my torn dress, then to my trembling hands. Because I can't stand the sight of cruelty, and because fate doesn't make mistakes. I swallow hard. Fate? His lips twitch, half smile, half warning. You'll understand soon. He turns to the crowd, his aura expanding again, pulsing like a heartbeat through every stone of the ballroom. You mock what you don't understand, he says, but the moon sees all. The nobles lower their heads instinctively. Some drop to one knee. And yet, from the corner of my eye, I catch Celine's expression, pure disbelief. Her face twists, pale and furious, her mouth opening as if to protest. She's no one, she blurts out suddenly. An orphan, a servant. The room stiffens. Kale's head tilts slowly toward her, his eyes narrowing, dangerous calm settling over him. Then you should pray, he says softly, that I don't take offense to your tone. Celine's breath hitches. I didn't mean... But he's already turned away. This night will be remembered, he announces, because the moon has chosen to reveal what is hidden. The musicians freeze. Even the wind outside seems to hold its breath. And as he steps closer, his presence enveloping me again, I realize something terrifying. He doesn't see me as broken. He sees me as found. Chapter 15. The declaration time slows. The king stands before me, tall, unyielding, eyes glowing brighter than the chandeliers above. And then he says it. Because tonight, Kale declares, his voice echoing through marble and glass, under the Bloodmoon, I claim her as my fated mate. Gasps explode across the hall. The crowd recoils as if struck by lightning. Someone drops a goblet. It shatters against the floor. Celine stumbles backward, her face a mask of disbelief. No, that's not possible, she whispers. Seraphine grips her daughter's arm, eyes wide with horror. Your Majesty, surely this is a jest. But Kale doesn't even glance their way. Instead, he steps closer to me, his gaze locking with mine. You feel it too, don't you? He murmurs, just loud enough for me to hear. The pull, the bond. My lips part. My wolf trembles inside me, pressing against my skin, yearning toward him. Yes, I whisper before I can stop myself. I don't understand it. He smiles faintly. You don't need to. The moon understands for us. His hand rises, fingers brushing a strand of hair from my face. The contact sends a shock through my entire body, fire and electricity and something ancient all at once. The hall watches in silence, torn between reverence and terror. And Kyle, the Alpha King, turns back to his stunned court. You called her unworthy, he says, voice deep and resonant. But destiny doesn't ask for your approval. It commands it. Every wolf in the hall lowers their head instinctively. He continues, From this moment she stands under my protection. Any who speak her name in shame will answer to me. His words slice through the air like a vow. Then, quieter, he looks at me again. His voice no longer a king's, but a man's. Do not fear me, Lyra, he says softly. Fate may have chosen us, but I choose you. My breath falters. My world tilts again, but this time it's not from humiliation. It's from awe. Because in a single night I went from invisible to claimed by the most powerful wolf alive. And as his hand lingers near mine, the Bloodmoon glows brighter, casting its light on us both, two souls bound by something older than power itself. The court bows. Celine collapses into silent tears. And me? I stand there trembling, no longer from shame, but from the terrifying truth that destiny has teeth, and it just bit into my life. Chapter 16. The Mark of the Moonborn. The hall is utterly still. I can feel my heartbeat in my throat, wild and unsteady, as Kyle reaches for my hand. His touch is fire, steady, commanding, and strangely gentle. The world narrows to the space between our fingers, and then light. It begins as a shimmer, faint and trembling beneath my skin. A silver pulse, like the heartbeat of the moon itself, spreads from the place where his thumb brushes my wrist. The glow deepens, curling into ancient runes that twist and reform until they settle into a perfect sigil, bright, ethereal, alive. Gasps ripple through the crowd. Someone whispers, "The mark. It's the Moonborn mark." My breath catches. What's happening to me? Kale's gaze darkens, but not with fear, with recognition. "It was always inside you," he murmurs. "The moon just waited for the right night to show it." The mark throbs, pulsing with every beat of my heart. It doesn't hurt, but it burns with meaning, with memory, as if whispering a story older than I can comprehend. The nobles recoil, whispering prayers. Some cross their chests, others stare in awe, their arrogance collapsing beneath something divine. Celine's voice trembles from across the floor. "That's impossible! That mark doesn't exist anymore. It died with the last Luna Queen." Kale glances her way, his expression unreadable. Seems the moon has corrected that misconception. He lifts my hand higher, letting the glow cast silver reflections across the walls. "Behold," he says softly, but with power that echoes through every soul present. "The blood of the Moonborn still flows." The words strike me like thunder. The Moonborn. The legendary bloodline of the first Luna Queen, the one said to have been blessed by the goddess herself, able to heal, to command, to unite packs under the light of truth. But that line was said to have vanished centuries ago. And yet, the proof burns on my skin. I stare at my wrist, trembling, unsure whether to be afraid or grateful. "Why me?" I whisper. Kyle's gaze softens. "Because you were never what they told you you were." And somewhere deep inside, my wolf, silent all these years, finally howls. Chapter 17. The Elders Kneel. The elders move first. Old as stone, robed in silver, they step out from the shadows near the throne. Their eyes gleam faintly under the moonlight filtering through the stained glass. One of them, a tall man with hair white as frost, leans forward, his voice shaking. "The sigil of Lunaris. I have not seen it since the fall of the first Luna's temple." Another elder gasps. "It cannot be forged. It cannot be faked. Only her blood can bear it." Their words roll through the crowd like a wave. Kale turns toward them. "Then speak," he commands. "What does this mean for the packs?" The eldest bows deeply, lower than any alpha would ever bow to another. "It means the goddess has spoken through fate itself. The true line of Luna has returned, and she stands before us." The words strike like lightning. The court erupts, gasps, prayers, disbelief. Some wolves drop to their knees, others clutch their chests as if to still their racing hearts. Even Seraphine's mask of arrogance cracks completely. Her fan falls from her hand. I can barely breathe. "I don't understand," I whisper. "I'm no one. You are not no one, child," the elder says gently. "You are the last seed of the moonborn blood. The power hidden, the name forgotten, but the blood remembers. It always remembers." Tears sting my eyes, my voice shakes. "But my mother, she never said—" "She knew," the elder replies. "And because of it, she was hunted. She hid you to protect the line, to protect this moment." My knees almost give out. Kale's hand steadies me instantly, strong and sure. His scent, pine and smoke and iron, grounds me, pulling me back from the edge. The elder kneels fully now, head bowed low before me. "My queen," he says reverently, "the goddess's mark is clear. The packs shall kneel to you, or they will kneel to ruin." The other elders follow, kneeling one by one, and with every bowed head, I feel something awaken inside me, an echo of power long suppressed, rising like the tide. The whispers turn to chants. Moonborn, moonborn, the Luna reborn. Kale's voice cuts through the reverence, calm but filled with pride. "Rise, elders. Your queen needs no worship. She needs truth." He looks at me, gold meeting silver, his gaze steady and grounding. "You were never meant to live small, Lyra. The world tried to bury you, but the moon remembered." And in that moment, I finally begin to believe him. Chapter 18. The true queen revealed. Celine staggers backward, her lips trembling, eyes wide as if staring at a ghost. "No, it's not true. She's lying. This is some trick." Seraphine grabs her arm, her nails digging deep. "Be silent, Celine," she hisses. But even her voice quivers, her composure shattering under the weight of the truth. Kale steps closer to them, his presence vast, his eyes burning gold. "You mocked her. You called her names. You tore the dress from her body and laughed." He pauses, voice low but sharp. "And yet it was her blood the moon chose to restore." Seraphine's lips part, trembling. "Your Majesty, I didn't know." "That's the problem," Kale interrupts coldly. "You never looked close enough to see what she was." Colleen's voice rises again, shrill and desperate. "She's nothing but a maid. She doesn't deserve—" "Deserve?" Kale's tone turns lethal. The moon's choice isn't about deserving, it's about destiny. The mark on my wrist glows brighter, answering his words. The light spreads across my hand, wrapping me in a halo of silver fire. The gasps return, louder this time. Even those who mocked me moments ago bow their heads, unable to meet my eyes. I stare down at my own skin, at the mark that pulses with life and ancient memory. For the first time in my life, I don't hide it. I let it burn. "My mother was hunted," I say softly, voice trembling but sure. "You blamed me for her death, but she died protecting this." I lift my wrist, the mark blazing. "She died protecting me." Seraphine covers her mouth, tears spilling past her lashes. Celine shakes her head violently, backing away. No, it's not fair." Kale's expression softens only when he looks at me. Fate rarely is, but it is just. He takes my hand and raises it high for all to see. "Witness," he commands, "the return of the moonborn line, the rightful Luna of all packs." The hall erupts into unified submission. Dozens, hundreds of wolves kneel, their howls rising in a reverent, trembling chorus. The sound fills the great hall, echoing up into the rafters, bleeding out through the open windows into the blood-moon sky. Tears spill freely down my face. My heart swells with a strange mix of sorrow and strength. Because everything they destroyed, my name, my past, my hope, has risen from the ashes brighter than before. Celine and Seraphine collapse where they stand, broken by the revelation that the girl they stripped of dignity was born to wear a crown. And I finally understand what destiny feels like. It doesn't arrive with gentleness. It arrives like thunder. Chapter 19. The Trial of the Cruel. The hall is still thick with the echo of the wolves' howls when Kale's voice cuts through the air again, low, commanding, absolute. "Bring them forward." The guards move instantly. Their armor clinks like distant thunder as they drag Celine and Seraphine toward the center of the marble floor. The mother and daughter tremble beneath the torchlight, their once perfect poise reduced to dust. I can barely recognize them. Celine's eyes, those same eyes that used to gleam with pride and cruelty, are now wild with panic. Seraphine clutches her arm, whispering desperate things that sound like prayers. My pulse quickens. Kale steps beside me, his aura wrapping the hall in silence. His voice carries not through volume, but through weight. Before the Bloodmoon, the goddess, and this court, I summon Seraphine of Silvercrest and her daughter Selene to answer for their cruelty. Selene stammers, We didn't know who she was. Kyle's eyes flash gold. You didn't need to know. Respect does not depend on status. It's a measure of soul. A murmur ripples through the crowd. Seraphine straightens slightly, grasping for the tatters of her dignity. Your Majesty, I acted only to protect the Silvercrest name. The girl brought shame. The girl, Kale interrupts sharply, is your queen. His words slice the air clean. The crowd gasps. Seraphine flinches. I was blinded by grief. Her mother, Kyle says, stepping closer, was a woman of the moon-born line. You destroyed her memory and her child to protect your pride. The silence afterward is suffocating. I step forward, heart hammering. My hands tremble, but my voice does not. For years, you told me I killed her. You made me believe I was cursed. Seraphine's eyes flicker up, glistening. Lyra, You broke me, I whisper. But you didn't win. The moon saw everything. She looks away, shame swallowing her words. Kyle turns to the Council of Elders. Her crimes are clear. Her deceit is proven. The question remains, what shall justice demand? One elder rises, voice firm. Exile, Your Majesty. Let them wander without title or territory. Let them learn humility beneath the same stars they once scorned. Kyle nods once. So be it. Selene falls to her knees, clutching at the hem of his cloak. Please don't send us away. We have nowhere to go. Kale's voice is cold, but not cruel. You should have thought of that before you stripped another of her worth. Tears streak her face, but he doesn't flinch. He looks to me instead. The court will render its judgment, but your forgiveness, if you choose it, will decide their peace. My chest tightens, because even after everything, I don't know what forgiveness feels like yet. Chapter 20. The Stripping of Titles. The night deepens. The Bloodmoon glows red through the high windows, spilling crimson light over the throne room like the mark of fate itself. Kale stands before the assembly, every inch the ruler of wolves. His presence fills the space, commanding, divine, unshakable. The elders chant the old rite of judgment. Each line echoes with ancient power. Let the unjust be stripped of false honor. Let the proud be humbled before truth. Kale raises his hand. Seraphine of Silvercrest, Selene of Silvercrest. By decree of the Bloodmoon, I strip you of rank, title, and land. You are no longer Luna or daughter of noble blood. You will live as rogues, nameless and unclaimed. A collective gasp ripples through the hall. Selene sobs openly now, clutching her mother. Please, Your Majesty. Mercy. Kale's tone hardens. Mercy was hers to give, he says, nodding toward me. You earned her silence, not her pity. Seraphine's voice cracks. You'll send us to die. Kale's gaze turns colder than stone. Death is a mercy you haven't earned. He signals the guards. Take them beyond the borders by dawn. Let no pack shelter them. Let them live beneath the wild sky they mocked. The guards move forward. Selene screams, reaching for me as if I might save her. Lyra, please, say something. You're good, aren't you? You always were. Her words twist my chest, because deep down, part of me still remembers being the girl who wanted her sister's love. I look at her, tears threatening to fall. I was good, Selene. You just never saw it. Her sobs echo as they're dragged away, and the massive doors slam behind them with a thunderous finality. The sound rings in my ears long after the silence returns. Kyle turns to me, his voice soft now. It's done. But the ache in my heart tells me justice alone isn't enough. Something deeper still waits to be spoken, something only forgiveness can finish. Chapter 21. The Forgiveness of a Queen. The hall empties slowly. Only the torches remain, their flames whispering in the quiet. The Bloodmoon's crimson light pours through the windows, painting the marble floor in a glow that feels both holy and haunting. Kale stands beside me, silent, patient. He doesn't speak until the last echo fades. "You did nothing wrong," he says quietly. "They destroyed themselves." I shake my head. Maybe, but if the moon chose me, then she must want more than vengeance. He studies me for a long moment. "You'd spare them?" "I'd forgive them," I whisper. "Not because they deserve peace, but because I deserve it." Kale exhales slowly, his golden eyes softening. "You surprise me, Lyra. Even after everything, your heart still chooses light." "I learned that darkness doesn't end when we feed it," I say. "It ends when we stop letting it define us." He steps closer, close enough that his warmth seeps into me. His hand finds mine, his thumb brushing over the still glowing mark on my wrist. The moon made the right choice. Tears slip down my cheeks, but this time they feel cleansing. Outside, the wolves begin to howl again, long, mournful, and beautiful. The sound vibrates through the stone walls, and when I glance up, the blood moon burns brighter, as if listening. Kyle looks up too. "She's sealing your vow," he murmurs. "The moon?" He nods. When a queen forgives, the moon remembers. It's the mark of true power. I smile faintly, closing my eyes as the red light bathes my skin. Then let her remember this night. The torches flicker, the air grows still, and for a heartbeat I swear I hear my mother's voice, soft, warm, proud. My brave girl. The last of the pain leaves with that whisper. When I open my eyes again, Kale is watching me, not as a king, but as something far more human. "Your reign," he says softly, "begins not with vengeance, but with grace." I nod, voice barely a whisper. And that's why it will last. The blood moon flares one final time, bright crimson turning to silver, before fading into the dawn. Justice has been done, peace has been chosen, and the girl they tried to break stands reborn as queen. Chapter 22. The house of the moonborn dawn spills across the valley like liquid gold. The blood moon is gone, but her memory lingers in the faint shimmer of dew that glows along the grass. I walk barefoot through what was once ruins, the sanctuary my mother built before the flames took her life. The stones are cracked, vines curling around the broken arches, but beneath the rubble, I can still feel her warmth. This is where she prayed. This is where she died protecting me. And this is where I begin again. Workers move around me, omegas and healers, their laughter soft, their steps light. They no longer bow in fear. They smile. For the first time, they are rebuilding something that belongs to them. Kyle stands nearby, his cloak brushing the earth, watching me in quiet pride. "It will be finished by the next moon," he says. "It's not just a home," I reply, kneeling to trace the sigil carved into the stone. "It's a promise." He tilts his head. "A promise?" "That every Omega who was ever silenced will have a place to be heard." I glance at the rising walls, their white stone glowing in the sunlight. This sanctuary won't be for worship. It'll be for healing, for freedom. Kale's smile is faint but proud. "Then you'll need a name for it." I already know. "The House of the Moonborn." He repeats the name softly, like an oath. Fitting. As he speaks, a breeze moves through the ruins, stirring the prayer ribbons that hang from the trees. One slips free, brushing against my wrist, right over the mark. It glows faintly in response, silver light against the morning sun. I whisper to the wind, "She'd be proud of this." Kale's voice lowers. "She already is." And in that moment, beneath the rising sun, I swear I feel her presence, soft as moonlight, strong as destiny. Chapter 23. The Coronation Night. That night, the palace gleams like the surface of the moon itself. Lanterns hang from every balcony, glowing silver blue. Music drifts through the air, soft, reverent, filled with something more than celebration. It feels like remembrance. I stand before a mirror in my chambers, my heart pounding like it did the first night I walked into the Bloodmoon ball. Only this time, I'm not trembling with fear. My gown flows around me in layers of moonlight silk, every thread shimmering faintly under the candles. The neckline bears the symbol of the moonborn, woven in silver thread by the same servants who once pitied me. Now, their hands worked with love. Kale enters quietly. His reflection meets mine in the mirror before his voice does. "You look like a story the stars would tell." I smile, turning to face him. "And you? You look like trouble." He chuckles, stepping closer until his breath brushes my cheek. Then we're perfectly matched. For a moment, the world narrows to just us, his hand on my waist, my pulse racing beneath his fingers. But then the horns sound from the courtyard below, the moment we've both been waiting for. He takes my hand. "Are you ready?" I nod. I was born for this night. The great doors open. The courtyard beyond glows with torchlight, the marble floor dusted with white petals. Thousands of wolves from every pack have gathered, their heads bowed. Kyle leads me down the steps to the throne platform, where the elders wait with the crown of silver flame, the symbol of unity between Alpha and Luna, power and grace. When Kyle lifts the crown, the crowd grows silent. "By the decree of the Bloodmoon and the blessing of the goddess," he says, "I crown Lyra of the Moonborn line, Luna, queen of all packs." The crown touches my head. The mark on my wrist ignites in silver fire, and as the light blooms across the courtyard, I hear the sound, one I'll never forget, thousands of wolves dropping to one knee in perfect harmony. Kyle leans close, his lips brushing my ear. "Welcome home, my queen," I whisper back. "Thank you for seeing me, when no one else would." His hand finds mine, warm and certain. "I didn't just see you, Lyra. I felt you, from the moment you walked beneath that blood moon." The music swells. The moon rises, and the broken girl I once was, finally disappears. Chapter 24. The Queen's Words. The crowd stretches as far as I can see, a sea of faces illuminated by torches and moonlight. The air hums with reverence. Wolves bow, alphas kneel, and the chants of Luna Lyra ripple like waves through the night. I step forward, the crown heavy but right upon my head. Kale stands beside me, silent and proud, his golden eyes fixed on me, as if I'm the only light left in the world. When I speak, my voice carries farther than I expect. I once thought strength meant silence, that if I endured enough pain quietly, I would earn love. The murmurs hush instantly. But the moon taught me something different. I pause, letting the stillness breathe. True power isn't taken, it's earned, through courage and mercy. A breeze sweeps through the courtyard, cool and alive. The moon glows brighter, as if listening. I was born an Omega, I continue, mocked, beaten, blamed for things I didn't do. But fate doesn't forget the ones who suffer with grace. She lifts them higher. Not for revenge, but for renewal. Kale's hand brushes mine subtly. Silent support. I lift my gaze to the crowd. To every wolf who has ever told you are less, remember this night. The moon watches. The moon remembers. And she will rise for you too. A murmur begins, soft at first, then stronger. Wolves rise one by one, their heads lifted toward the moon. Kyle's voice joins mine, strong and sure. Kneel not to fear, but to faith. The entire realm bows. The courtyard glows as thousands of wolves press their hands to their hearts. And there, beneath the moonlight, Surrounded by those who once mocked me, I feel something shift inside the world itself, like a balance restored. My shame has become my throne, my scars, my crown. As the music swells, I glance at Kale, my king, my mate, my destiny. He leans close, whispering just for me. The moon has her queen again. I smile through tears, and this time, she won't hide. The night blooms in silver light. The kingdom howls as one, and beneath that eternal sky, I finally belong, not as the broken Omega, but as the Luna who rose,